Welcome back, everybody. So what is acne? Well, acne presents itself in different ways. Some people are very predisposed to acne, and basically what happens is that the hormones in the body are overreacting, especially they're in their teens, you know, and they start breaking out in spots and pimples and everything else. And sometimes it can go within a few weeks. Some people, it stays longer than necessary. Some people, when it goes, it doesn't leave any scarring at all. But some other people, it leaves very, very bad scarring, which actually will make them feel very conscious and very uncomfortable. And then they want to do something about it to remove those scars. Sometimes when people suffer from acne, they suffer from this self-esteem issues because they feel people are not looking at them, they're looking at their spots, and because of that they lose confidence, and they want to do everything that they can to actually make sure that those spots are not there. So they resort to all sorts of things to remove those spots. So what are the things that people would use to remove acne? Some people would go as far as using special creams that would dry up the area and make the skin, the pores to come out. Or they would even go as far as using a pin, pinch it and let it just come out. Those things actually will make it worse because that's where the scarring comes when you try to do things and not allow nature to take its course. Normally you would be advised that if you have acne and your skin is breaking out like that, to just leave it as it is and let it just take its course and break out on its own, and then the scarring will be very, very minimal. My advice would be exactly to do that. If you decide to want to treat it, say the scarring is so bad and you want to treat it, I would advise you to go natural first of all. One of the main things I always advise people to do is to cleanse your skin, cleanse it. Now people would be worried about what would I use to cleanse my skin. Some would say I have very bad oily skin, and if you have oily skin, normally you're very predisposed to acne and pimples. Why? Because the oil is it's secreting so much oil in your skin, and because of that, it's clogging up your pores, and obviously you break out in acne and things like that. So some people would say, okay, so how can I prevent oil in my face so that I don't have so much acne? And my issue will be for you to find a moisturizing cream that is oil-free or very little oil that you can use to help minimize the oil secretion that your skin secretes. And for me, moisturization is key if you want to attain a younger looking skin. If you want to be 50 and look 30 or look 25, moisturization is really good, because what moisturization does is that it soaks, your body soaks up, your skin soaks up the water, and then the excess poisonous stuff, the toxins in the skin, comes out. When you drink water, it comes out. And that's why when you wake up in the morning, sometimes you might find that your skin might be a bit oily, because during the night, your body has worked on itself and removed all the toxins and everything, so you can wash your face and things like that. So, but you have to be very, very careful, because not all products out there are good for your skin. I will not advise anybody to say, okay, no, use this, use that, because I have to have a proper consultation with you first and determine what problems that you have with your skin. And then after that, I can recommend something for you to try before we actually take it from there. If you have combination skin, and by combination skin, I mean your T-zone, that's your forehead and your nose, your nasal area and your forehead, they're usually quite oily, and then in other parts of your face are normal or dry. I have combination skin, so I have, my T-zone is always oily, and then here is normal skin. And for me, I use products that are not so oil-based, especially on my T-zone. I just buy products that are more like from normal skin, so that my skin will even out itself in terms of the production of oil. So I would use that. And also I try to use creams that would enrich my skin, that are rich in vitamin E, that are rich in vitamin C, that are rich in things that are like natural, that will help if you don't eat a lot of fruits like you should. Those creams will actually take on that role, but nothing beats actually eating well anyway to be able to have good skin and to prevent acne. If you really have very, very bad case of acne and you've tried everything, all these things, and it's still not working, people might resort to laser treatment. And if you use laser treatment, it's not just a one-off. One is quite expensive though, and not a lot of people can afford it. But if you can afford it, they'll probably tell you to come for like maybe 4, 5, or 6 sessions, depending on the extent of the acne. And that does help, because what happens is that they help burn away the unevenness of that area, of those areas, and then you find out that the natural skin starts growing and coming out, and then they'll advise you on the right moisturizers to use on your skin to help the skin to regain its balance and to look normal again. Yes, I would advise, if you have acne, especially if it's a bad case of acne, sometimes the chemicals in the makeup can actually trigger it and make it worse. So usually the doctors would recommend, or a skincare specialist would recommend, that you stop wearing anything that has to do with makeup all kinds of emollients or anything. Like, just leave your skin to just heal itself. So they will recommend that. And even if you have to use any product at all, it has to be hypoallergenic. And by that I mean products that have been specially created to be kind to the skin, that even a baby can use it and it will not harm them. They'll probably recommend that for you to use instead of just leaving your skin if you don't want to leave your skin like that. Not necessarily. It can contribute. There's some people who are predisposed to acne. Sometimes some people have hormonal imbalance, and especially women, at a certain time in their lives, they might have hormonal imbalance where their body is just going crazy with all kinds of things. So they break out. Yes, certain times of the month as well, they can notice that. But some other times, maybe there's some gynecological problems and all that, and their hormones are all over the place. It can manifest in that way and come out like that. For teenagers, also for men, for young men, obviously when they are reaching puberty, adolescents and all that, they will have all those things as well. It's just normal, it's just part of life. So you cannot, it's something that you cannot avoid, really. It happens. But when it happens, best really to see a specialist to determine exactly how you can go about it. Yeah, it's exactly what I said earlier. It can be some sort of problems that you're beginning to have in your system, and your system is fighting something. So normally, if there's a problem like that, they would actually recommend you to maybe have some antibiotics and things like that to help maybe regulate your hormones. As a matter of fact, sometimes for women, if they have that kind of problem, they would actually give them some birth control pills, because birth control pills helps to reduce the estrogen, which normally stimulates the acne and all that, and gives them some testosterone, which is the male hormone, to minimize the acne and all that. So normally they would give them birth control pills, and normally when they take that, sometimes they find out that yes, it does reduce the effects of the acne. For me, I would recommend the natural way, always, and that is cleansing your skin, toning your skin and moisturizing your skin, and avoid eating foods that are very oil-based. I personally I try to avoid a lot of oil in my food because I know that I've got oily skin, and if you've got oily skin, you're predisposed to having breakouts. Avoid sweets, chocolates. I used to be a chocoholic, actually, but I realized that whenever I had chocolate, a few days later, I break out in all kinds of acne, and they're usually the massive types. So I still have chocolate, but very, very occasionally. So, and avoid always touching your face, especially if your face is not, if your hands are not clean, and then you keep touching your face, you are putting dirt on your face, and when your face reacts with the dirt, obviously it clogs up the pores, and then it breaks out. And also, even when you go outside, the air, the smoke, the dust, everything used to happen. That's why it's very good. Wash your face, and then to balance itself, and then you wash your face, and soak and refresh itself again. So I hope you found this very, very informative and educational. If you require more information, you can actually Google it yourself or find, but the thing is, usually websites don't give you all the right information, but I hope this has been quite informative for you. We'll come back to you next time with another very, very interesting and exciting topic. In the meantime, take care of yourselves and stay beautiful.